Rambo 2.
What's going on, everybody? Today we're looking at Rambo 2, which came out in 1985 and was written by Sylvester Stallone and James Cameron, believe it or not. This is a movie that broke box office records in 1985 by gaining over $300 million worldwide. Lots of explosions and gunfire, and even a special effects guy died while making this movie. It's your typical shoot 'em up type of action movie, even with the opening credits, it's just like fire coming out of the letters Rambo. Entertainment Weekly even ranked this movie number 23 on its list of top 25 rock'em sock'em movies of the past 25 years. But what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, let's go over it, shall we, in this week's Stallone Month movie review. Right off the bat, this movie just starts with a bang. Literally, a bang. That's the first thing you see. This movie just feels very 80s, and I like that 80s nostalgia. Everything is very 80s in this movie. Like I said, the lettering, the Rambo has like fire coming out of it. Just feels so 80s. This movie picks up right after the second one. 3 years later, John Rambo is in prison. He got arrested. He's doing hard time. He's only got a couple more years left, but Mr. Troutman, aka Kirk, he comes in and says, I got a mission for you, and if you do it, you can shorten your sentence right now. And right off the bat, Stallone looks a hell of a lot bigger. In the past 3 years, he's been gaining lots of muscle mass. He looks jacked in this movie. I don't know if this is just fate, but Rambo says expendable in this movie. He says he's just an expendable. What an unbelievable coincidence that 20-odd years later he'd be filming a movie called The Expendables. This movie was shot in Thailand, but it looks just like Vietnam. I guess Thailand and Vietnam look alike, but yeah, it's believable. I like that this movie actually feels like you're there, so at least it feels genuine when you're watching it. Doesn't feel like some sort of cheap Hollywood stage or some like Arizona desert somewhere with fake trees planted everywhere, and you're like, oh, this is just fake. This is the beginning of the bow and arrow Rambo that we all know and love. This is the beginning of the action hero Rambo. There's some decent action in this movie. I mean, a lot of it's just very quick and hit and miss, but I mean, there's some decent fun to be had in this movie. Another thing that makes this movie feel very dated and 80s like is that whole gearing up montage we get in a lot of movies where they start gearing up. They're getting their knife, their gun, strapping the headband. It's very cliche right there. I like how brutal and gritty this movie can get with all the torture in it. You got Rambo, he's in mud and pig guts and feces or whatever. He's got leashes all over him. I like that Rambo has a bow and arrow that isn't just a cliche regular bow and arrow. It actually has a explosive tip, and I like that. He even uses it on the one guy who kills his little love interest. Blows him up. And I like that the end of this movie kind of reminds you of the end of the first movie where he's just shooting up the whole fucking facility, shooting all the computers that were supposedly there to protect him, but they just totally dished his ass there, so he gets revenge on Murdoch. Scares the shit out of him. I like the end of this movie. There's not too much to say about this movie. This movie is just like a very cheesy, cliche, like 80s action film, kind of like Commando with Schwarzenegger. This is what this movie's equivalent is to that. There's a lot of things wrong with this movie, but let me just go over the little things that I just did not enjoy about this movie. One of the, she got the little cliche love interest thing going on here. We got this Vietnamese woman who speaks English. She's not really that interesting. She's the worst actress ever. I think she even won an award for being the worst actress, some Razzie award. Her death scene is so fucking cringeworthy. The way she goes out, she literally says something like, "Don't forget me." It feels so high school play like some kid, like they hired some fucking high school girl to play this woman. And I gotta say, why the hell is Vietnam keeping these POWs from a war that was over a decade ago? Why are there still POWs there? Why are you wasting all that time and energy to keep them alive? Makes no sense. And I must say, the NVA got to the fucking river pretty quick. I mean, Rambo, he had like a few hour head start, and they just catch up immediately. We're all on foot. How did that happen? I'm starting to notice a cliche in these action movies where people have to dive into the water to avoid like an explosion or something. I'm also noticing that water is somehow bulletproof. The bullets never seem to hit the person underneath the water. If you're the action hero Rambo, he never gets hit by bullets, even though they're spraying bullets everywhere right around him. Rambo's basically invincible in this movie. He can never get shot, and if he does, it's always somewhere that's nowhere near fatal. There's a stupid corny ass scene in this movie where Rambo drags a soldier who apparently had a throat too sore to scream that day, because when he drags him, he literally could cry out for help, but he doesn't. Am I supposed to believe that Rambo knew that the helicopter pilot would not shoot his helicopter at the end, towards the end of this movie? He just pretends like he's sleeping as if that guy a mile away could see him through that fucking windshield. Apparently he did, because he acted surprised when conveniently there was an M72 law rocket just sitting in the back. But why even pretend you're sleeping? Just makes no sense. Wait for him to get around and then get that law rocket, because I believe in your aim, Sylvester. I think you can get him. The bad guy in this movie, he's completely forgettable. He's supposedly a Russian, but he's played by an English actor, and he keeps giving him this German accent. Believe me, I should know. Ich sollte wissen, weil ich Deutsch studiert habe. We get this very, very cringeworthy speech at the end. I think Rambo or Sylvester Stallone, I think he even admitted that this speech was cliche, but he tried to cringeworthy, but he tried to defend it. There's no defending it. It's very, very eye-rolling. And where the hell is John Rambo walking out to? He just starts walking into the sunset. Very, very cliche. Really, that's your movie ending. Literally walking into the sunset. But where is he going? Literally, where is he going? Where does he need to go? He's got nothing to do. Where's he going? Apparently Thailand, because that's where he's at in the beginning of the third movie, which is what I'm going to be reviewing next. I just got done watching it, and it's not much better than this. It's worse. These movies are guilty pleasures at best, but save your money. I would say when it comes to Rambo Part 2, that you should maybe just rent this at Redbox. Those are my thoughts on Rambo Part 2 First Blood. What are your thoughts on this one? Is this your favorite sequel of the bunch? As of right now, I think my favorite is Part 4, Rambo, just called Rambo. Because no one wants to ever call a movie what the actual sequel is, like Rambo 4, because people are not going to see it at the theater if it's called Rambo 4. I haven't seen the first 3, I need to catch up. So many movies do that, I hate it. Just call it what it is, alright? Fucking Rambo 4. Whatever, I'm just ranting, whatever. Let's just end this, alright? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you enjoyed this at all, you can support this video by clicking on this like button over here, and you can support my channel by clicking on my beautiful cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen. Yeah.